Hi, I'm joined here by Professor David Lampton. Professor Lampton, thanks so much for being here tonight. Thank you. Would you just briefly describe how you would say the nature of U.S. China relations are currently?
Well, I think you'd have to say there are competitive aspects and conflictual aspects, but right now I think it's a very difficult time for U.S. China relations. There are sort of three pillars of the relations: economics, military, and diplomatic, and I think each of those is in somewhat more difficulty now than for probably at least 2 or more decades.
And what are some of the factors that you feel like have made the relationship difficult?
Well, I think, first of all, each of our societies has very tumultuous politics at the current time. Of course, we've just gone through an election, and that had unanticipated results, but I think more fundamentally, the world's going through a populist revolution, and leaders that are playing on xenophobia often, on protectionist sentiments, on resentment against globalism. It's a global phenomenon, and it's actually affecting China. It's obviously affecting the United States, Europe. So I think what we're seeing is the manifestation of a global phenomenon really in U.S. China relations.
And so what are some things that we can do to help improve U.S. China relations?
Well, I think first of all, our public officials need to be acquainted with the facts and be knowledgeable. And so, for instance, China's working to keep the value of the renminbi up, while politicians here are talking as though China's trying to make the currency depreciated, actually the opposite. So I think starting with the facts is the first thing. Secondly, I think the economic part of the relationship is the easiest to potentially get moving in a positive direction. We've been working under the Obama administration on a bilateral investment treaty, but I have no reason to think that a Trump administration wouldn't find that possible to work on. So I think those are directions in which we can go initially.
And if you had the opportunity to give advice for President-elect Trump, what would your advice to him be? Maybe speaking to those three pillars of our relationship with China.
Well, I would say it's very important to be credible. So you've got to think out answers that are going to have more durability than tweets. So when you say something to the Chinese, you better mean it, and you better be willing to sacrifice on behalf of it. Secondly, I think the Chinese really do wish to have a productive relationship with the United States. So there is something to work on. And when we think about Russia relations with the U.S. compared to China relations, I would say at least the economic component of this relationship with China is a very big component, and the economic component of relations with Russia is really almost non-existent.
Well, awesome. Thanks so much, Professor Lampton, for being here. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.